Hi! Today you can watch me build a steel bar frame for a neon sign, just like the frames for the classic beer neon signs. I have a wish list of signs that I'd like to have in my collection but can't get in Germany, and international shipping is almost impossible. So every now and then I build myself a replica of one of the wish list signs. I'm still a neon bending beginner, so making the tubes takes me a lot of time. This time I picked the Tsingtao dragon sign. All the tubes I made are placed here on the pattern drawings. You can see that it's important to test this arrangement the last time before processing the tubes. There were two spots where electrodes came quite close to other tubes, but it was still okay. I mirrored this photo to see the text right and just started playing around on my phone where I could place beams. In the past, I have just laid my tubes on the workbench and then carefully moved the steel beams around underneath them to find a frame design. But this time I tried a new approach. I drew a circle on this box to align the parts because the original sign is aligned to this circle shape, and then I took a straight right-angled photo. I imported the photo into a vector graphics program, scaled it to the circle diameter, and placed my beams and tube supports on the computer screen. I'm usually doing 6 inches between the legs, center to center. That's the original spacing of the old classic beer neon signs with the heavy transformers. When the electronic transformers came, some manufacturers matched their leg spacing to the length of their new transformers. So this time I could place the measurements on the computer screen. I made a front and a back view and started working. These 10 by 5 mm steel bars are exactly the type as used on the classic beer neons. The bare steel is rusting very quickly, so I tried to carry them home from the store wrapped in paper. I have carried them in bare hands before, and the spots where I held them were rusted after just a few weeks. You can see that I have bent the two vertical legs. The left sides yet need to be sawed off. I'm bending by hand in a bench vise. My hands couldn't do that all day, but it works for a single project. And then I can drill all the tube support holes. I went outside and chamfered all the edges with a file. Then I clamped the first two parts together with this spring-loaded welding clamp and aligned the parts right angle. I've had nobody show me how to weld, and I'm just not getting better at this. I have a cheap welder and these electrodes that are steel wire with flux coating around them, and I just keep getting the electrodes stuck and not properly striking an arc, but in the end I always get it done somehow. And of course I'm using a protective shield with a dark glass window to protect my eyes. This is how the weld looks after the slag has been hammered off. You really need to hammer it hard so it goes off, and that's also a good test if your weld will hold. And this is the weld brushed clean and filed down. After welding, the frame may be warped a bit from the heat that will bend the steel, so it might be necessary to have a look from all directions and with a bit of force bend it straight again, and this will also be another test if the welds are stable and don't break off. I then added rear feet to the frame that are screwed on. Prior to painting, it could be necessary to degrease the steel. The bars I buy are usually dry and pretty clean, and I'm too lazy to clean or sand them off additionally, so I'm just spray painting them as they are. The paint is dried and I'm now riveting on all the tube supports in the orientations that I have planned. I like this type of metal tube support in the top of the photo the most. They have a spring that can slide in and out, the foot can't break from the rivet pressure, and they can be bent a little if the position doesn't fit perfectly. They're not ideal for electronic transformers though, because the metal of the support can come quite close to the tube, and that's not good when using electronic transformers. So that's something you need to pay attention for. I'm carefully placing the tubes loosely on the supports to align all their positions so there will be no sideways force on the tubes once they are clicked in. Now I'm carefully mounting all the tubes by pulling one after another tube support clamp outwards with my index fingers, while at the same time pushing the tube in with my thumbs. And here it's wired up from the back. And finally turned on from the front. If you enjoyed watching, please subscribe to the channel, put a like or comment, I'd be happy to hear from you. Bye for now.